Lawmakers return to plenary after 4 weeks break. House of Reps is worried about the fate of 51 abducted train passengers. And also on the program.
In winning any primary election, except we amend the Electoral Act, the governor of the state, to a large extent, is in control of 85% of the process.
Senator Smart Adeyemi will join us to talk about the circumstances surrounding his loss in the APC Senatorial primary elections. You're watching the Halo Chambers on TVC News. I am Jesu Adeyemi. Lawmakers are back to their duty post at the National Assembly after a 4-week break. During the break, lawmakers were involved in politicking and elections. Some of them emerged winners, while many others lost. But legislators were glad to be back and look forward to an eventful time as the life of the 9th National Assembly winds down.
As we embark on the 4th year of our tenure, having clocked 3 years on Sunday, I wish all of us a very successful final year. This country can do better. And this National Assembly has done quite well to make governance better in this tenure.
The House of Representatives is piling pressure on President Muhammadu Buhari to ensure he keeps his promise to secure the safe release of citizens kidnapped by bandits and terrorists across the country. The lawmakers are particularly concerned about the fate of more than 50 passengers abducted on the Abuja to Kaduna passenger train and still in captivity. A bill sponsored by Honorable Bamidele Salam and 10 other members call for more efforts to secure the release of these victims.
Dismayed that during the train attack, 168 Nigerians were reportedly kidnapped, with 8 persons killed, including a young doctor due to travel out of the country the week of the incident. Concerned at the abductors of the train attack, recently released pictures and video footages of 62 victims held hostage in terrible physical and emotional conditions, with a threat to kill them if the federal government does not yield to their demand.
The House of Representatives wants the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to be more proactive and extinguish the suspected methane gas fire at Caritas University premises in Enugu State. The House of Reps also called on the NNPC and its subsidiaries, the Department of Petroleum Resources, and all relevant agencies to undertake a detailed study of the environmental impact of the fire. The resolutions followed a motion of urgent national importance by Toby Okechukwu on the need to investigate the unending fire at Caritas University site. The deputy minority leader said the fire had lasted for over 21 days and had claimed 1 life.
The fire, which has claimed 1 life, reportedly started on Tuesday, May 24, 2022, after borehole drillers engaged by university struck a gas belt after about 1,242 feet below the earth. The House also notes that all the efforts by the Nigerian Civil and Defense Corps, federal and state fire services, National Emergency Management Agency, and its state counterpart, SEMA, to put out the fire has failed, including pouring over 12 tankers of water and 4 drums of chemicals.
More than 50 senators and more than 170 members of the House of Representatives may not return to the National Assembly in the next democratic dispensation. This development has unsettled many lawmakers and has caused growing concerns that this may also affect the quality of legislation in the 10th National Assembly. The leadership of the House of Reps has also faulted the delegate system of voting and insists direct primary election will be the best option. Joining me now is Senator Smart Adeyemi, representing Kogi West Senatorial District and one of the lawmakers who will not return to the National Assembly. Distinguished Senator, thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure being with you.
Let's start with the recently concluded party primaries at various levels, including the one which you participated. You lost, but you also feel the process was not transparent. Why?
Well, I participated in primary elections, and I was said to have lost because the delegate list was changed, and quite a number of people who voted were just mere machineries. Contrary to the provisions of the law, those who were not supposed to be in that elections were there. The commissioners, the local government chairman, and the political office holders were right inside the hall, giving instructions to the delegates as to who they should vote for. In fact, majority of them were told to claim that they cannot vote, that they cannot write. These are educated people claiming that they cannot write. So their card, their voting card, was given to the returning officer, who happens to be the sitting commissioner for solid minerals in Kogi State. He was the one who was dictating how to vote and voting on behalf of quite a number of the delegates. Some chairmen were voting on behalf of their delegates, claiming that those delegates cannot write. The fact is that before the election, I issued a statement. I was told I have stepped on toes, and according to them, I stepped on toes based on some of my belief on some contemporary national issues. I've had cause to talk about quite a number of very challenging problems confronting our nation. And to some people who claim to be representative of government more than some of us, they claim I've stepped on their toes. In essence, I've said some things they felt as a party man I shouldn't have said. But I have no regret about all the positions I've taken as far as issues that are affecting our nations are concerned. Talking about security, some economic policies, I have no regret about it. The essence of having people like us in government is to call the attention of government when they are not doing well. And a responsible government will respond to areas of needs and areas where people like us are reasoning, because we are still part of the party. But that should not becloud our sense of reasoning for speaking what is right, speaking the mind of the Nigerian masses of this country. I think some people forget the background of some of us who are in politics. I cannot see things going bad and I will be clapping that they were good. People cannot be suffering and we say they are doing well. Now, if those policies are not what I believe in, that is working for our people, for Nigerian people, I feel very sincerely that I have a responsibility as somebody who has been elected to defend the needs and the aspirations of Nigerian people to speak out. So I step on toes on some powerful guys, and the result was to mobilize all the forces in the state to stop me at all costs. Added to the fact that already some of them are already thinking of who will be the governor in 2023 in Kogi State, 2023-24 elections in Kogi State. So some people have the opinion that if I'm allowed to go back, I'll be too strong, too more visible. So the way to do it is to take me out and see whether they will have the opportunity to overrun the other Senatorial district.
It is in the news that your governor, Yahaya Bello, was against you returning to the Senate, and he worked to ensure you did not win. Is this true?
Look, in winning any primary election, except we amend the Electoral Act, the governor of a state, to a large extent, is in control of 85% of the process. How do you explain when the returning officer of the election I participated was somebody who once aspired to be a senator for Kogi West? And this is a guy who is a serving commissioner, and he was the returning officer. So from who will he take instruction? But it's now a past tense. I've already filed my petition. Not because I feel they could easily change things. I just hold the view that, look, let it be on record that this is what was done to me. And I'm convinced that quite a number of Nigerians were surprised that I was not re-elected. So that gives me satisfaction. That it wasn't as a result of failure on my part that I was not re-elected. It was because the powers that be, felt that I was too outspoken for them. I was getting too much popularity, against some people. So those things are well understood, okay? But again, by the time you zero it down, the question is, are we making progress? Are we actually having an ideal society that we can say is democratic enough for those who will be elected? Should be those people, the masses actually want them to represent them. When you have a situation where people are imposed, then there's a risk ahead. The risk is winning elections goes beyond just primary elections.
What is your view about the delegate system of voting at the primary election? Is it the best?
The delegate system today is faulty. It's faulty in the sense that, if you take a look at what happened in quite a number of these elections, lists are changed. The delegate list will be changed 24 hours to the election. And when they are changed, they bring in illiterates who will be thanking the powers that be for allowing them to participate in the election. Now they don't even know some of the candidates. And when you ask them, who are you voting for? They don't even know. They say, well, whoever we are told to vote for. Okay, so when they come into the voting arena, they give their voting card to the person who will tell you these people cannot write. So they write for them. Now, that is the system. And this, from my interaction with my colleagues, this happened across the country. The governors determine who wins the primary election. And what you may expect is that in the general elections, there could be surprises. Surprises because people are getting more enlightened. When it comes to general election, it is a different ball game. People will vote according to their conscience, and they will vote according to their belief in the person they are voting for. In that instance, you cannot force voters to vote for a particular candidate. So you have to get the best candidate. But a situation where candidates are handpicked on the basis of corruption, nepotism, tribalism, it will not go well for democracy. And these are the reasons why in this country you keep on hearing agitations. Agitation will continue as long as there's no free and fair election, especially from the delegates, from the primary elections. When you bring people of questionable character, people who cannot defend themselves to go and represent people who lack language of communication, skill of communication, people who are not well exposed, who are well educated to represent a vast majority of people who are educated. It's like you have a blind man leading people with two eyes, So what do you expect? So you do expect that nation to move forward? Do you expect that nation to advance? No, to the contrary. Because those who are elected, they personify the area they come from. Okay? If you elect somebody who is a stammerer, for instance, it could be likened to a man who has a case of murder in court, and you have a lawyer who is a stammerer, then you can be rest assured that you are not likely to win your case. In the same vein, in democracy, you require somebody who is well skilled, who is well educated, who is well exposed, who appreciate what democracy is all about, and who appreciate the needs, the aspiration, the expectation of the people. Those are the people you elect to represent you.
We have seen some lawmakers abandon their party because of certain infractions and misunderstandings. Are we likely to see you exit the APC?
I'm not ready to leave the APC. There's no reason leaving the APC. You know why? Because power is very transient. Okay, the man who owns today may not own tomorrow, and tomorrow is in the hand of God. And when you leave APC, I was in PDP before, and I came to APC. It doesn't make sense for me to go back to PDP, okay? I'm going to remain in APC, and I've told my supporters to remain in APC. We have to remain in this party because APC is has national spread, And if I have reservation about some individuals, don't forget there are equally men and women of great strength of character, men and women of substance, of values, true Democrats. They are bound in APC. So I will not, because of some few people, and I jump the boat. No, I'm not going to do that. To me, that's not what a true Democrat should do. You have to stay put and see how we can salvage where we are to a large extent. So for me, I'm not going to jump the boat. I'm still in APC, and we're going to remain in this party. And we'll keep on with the agitation for good governance, protection of human rights. We'll keep on agitating for the needs and the aspiration of the masses of this country to be adhered to. I will not jump at for what reason. For me, politics is not just about occupying position. Politics is equally about participation, so that there is good governance in place. I'm not going to leave. I'm not going to shy away from the fact that the election was equally rigged in my party. That's not the issue. The issue to me is more important than even being in the Senate. The issue is that I want this country to be a better place. I want every Nigerian to be able to have 3 square meters. I want us to have 24-hour electricity supply. I want us to go to the filling station and fill our tanks. I want to see peace, stability. I want every Nigerian to be able to travel from Lagos to Maiduguri, to Akure, to Ondo, to Abakaliki. I want Nigeria to be what it was when we were growing up. I want to be proud of my country. I want to see my country in the front burner of world discourse. I want Nigeria to be a nation that people will rise for and salute. I want to see my country as a place that I will be proud to say, I am a Nigerian. Anywhere I go, I should be able to be proud to say, I am a Nigerian. So for that to happen, it is not by crossing from one party to the other. It is by not by being elected. It is by adequate participation in national discourse.
So many lawmakers are not returning to the National Assembly. Will this have any significant impact on the legislature as a democratic institution?
Of course, it's going to cost more. It's going to lead to a lot of resources. More so, it's going to lead to a situation where the speed that is expected for the National Assembly to move, it will be retarded the more. Because when you have new legislators, it takes time to grab the procedures. It takes them time to understand the system and the mechanism that operates in the National Assembly. If you come to the National Assembly, no matter how intelligent you are, you still take some 2 years to be able to grab and have understanding, apart from standing of moving motion. There are many things nobody will teach you, because nobody will put you in a class to tutor you of how to be a good legislator. So each time you change, you bring the nation, you drag the nation back. That explains why in advanced nations, you see legislators staying 40 years, 35 years. Why was it possible for the Ninth Senate to be stable under the 2 gentlemen who are saddled with the responsibility of managing the affairs of the 2 chambers? I'm talking about Senator Ahmed Lawa and the Right Honorable Gbajabiamila Mila. It's because of their long years of experience in the National Assembly. That explains why they were able to manage the National Assembly, and they were able to stabilize the 2 chambers peacefully. So in essence, the more you change your legislature, the more you set the country back. That's what's supposed to be. You can only change when you have people who are not committed, who are not patriotic, who are not committed to their duties as legislature. People who don't stay, people whom you see maybe once in a month, or I call some people visiting senators, because I see them like once in a week or once in a month. So each time I see them, I say, oh, you're welcome visiting senator. So, but I have not missed a sitting, plenary session. I have not missed one since I came back in the United Senate. It's just because of my commitment. I don't want to have reason to explain that when certain bills or laws were passed, I was not around, or when certain decisions were taken, I was not around. So I want to be part of every decisions that will be taken where I'm in the Senate.
Your party now has a presidential flag bearer, but the next headache for the APC is who to pick as a running mate. Do you think the much touted Muslim ticket should be a cause for worry?
Well, let me just say this first, as a journalist, that the APC flag bearer, Asiwaju Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is a friend of the media. I say this because of my background, and I know he's a man who is a true Democrat. He believes in the rule of law. Asiwaju is a God-fearing person, and Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu is a man who is committed to the development of our nation, upliftment of socio-economic structure of our nation. So to me, I think it was a good thing that Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu emerged our flag bearer. I have no doubt that we're going to win this election, irrespective of who he's picking as his running mate. I think we have come to a stage in this country that sentiments should not becloud our sense of reasoning. When the bandits kill, do they ask whether you're a Christian or a Muslim before they kill? When there's no fuel to move your vehicle, is it because you're a Christian or you're a Muslim? When people cannot pay their children's school fees, is it only Christians or only Muslims that cannot pay? In essence, our destiny is tied together. Whether you're a Christian or you're a Muslim, I think it should not be an issue. The issue is who is the character. There are good Christians, there are bad Christians. There are good Muslims, there are bad Muslims. It is the man who you are presenting. Is he a man of conscience? To me, he's a man of conscience that matters. It is not whether you're a Christian or you're a Muslim that matters to me. Are you a man who believes in God, that you should do good to all men? Do you see the next person as your friend, as your neighbor, as your brother? So it's not a matter of religion now. It's a matter of the fact that who is the person you are bringing? Is there a man who will be able to accommodate? How come our flag bearer, Asiwaju Ahmed bin Bola Tinubu, how come he was able to marry a pastor and they live peacefully? That speaks volumes. How come you have in a family, half of them are Christian, half are Muslim? To me, I think we must look at the reality of Nigeria today. We must look at how we're going to win election. Win election, to me, for the APC, the presidential election, is very important to us. So it is a question of whether you are bringing a Christian or you are bringing a Muslim. It should not be the issue. The issue is that give us a good candidate as presidential runners-up. I mean, running mate of the president of our flag bearer. It doesn't matter whether he's a Christian or he's a Muslim to me. There are terrible Christians. There are fantastic Christians. There are terrible Muslims. There are fantastic Muslims. It is not the religion of the person that matters to me. It is the conscience, the heart of the man. Does he have conscience? Does he believe that there should be justice, fairness, and equity? Does he believe in human rights? Does he believe that there's a need to develop a nation? Does he believe in fighting corruption and retrieving billions of naira people have stolen abroad and taken abroad? If we have somebody like him, who is a Muslim, please bring him. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether the person is a Christian or he's a Muslim. What matters is this man a man of good heart? Is he a man who has conscience? It transcends religion. Conscience doesn't know, in fact, there's no any other religion than your conscience. So to me, let us pray we get a man of conscience who will be the running mate of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
And what next for Senator Smart Adeyemi? What are your people saying you should do next?
Tomorrow is in the hand of God. And if you're a man of faith, you will not fear for tomorrow. Tomorrow is in the hand of God. And for me, I came this far by faith. Okay? And that same God who brought me this far is still very much alive. And is the most powerful God. Powerful than any king, any governor, any president anywhere. Is the King of kings and is the Lord of lords. Is the Alpha, is the Omega, is the beginning and the end. When we believe in God, there's less desperation. Okay? I am a man of faith and I have faith in God. And I'm not desperate for anything. You know, I never knew I came this far in life. So I'm not desperate for anything. So tomorrow is in the hand of God. I'm not looking at what tomorrow will bring. I leave tomorrow to God, but I know that tomorrow is far brighter than today.
That is all on our program this week. You can watch a repeat broadcast of this edition at 7 a.m. on Sunday. You can also see this program again on TVC News YouTube channel. Do not forget to subscribe, like and share. Follow on Twitter. My handle is @Smart Adeyemi TVC. Thank you for watching. See you next time.